Hello, everyone. I had a few messages if this would be a good fit if you weren't trying to conceive, like you were just interested in new earth babies, or if you're pregnant, or if you're postpartum. So from this moment forward, all of my work is going to be catered towards every single stage. And I feel like that's always something that I intended, but before crossing the threshold into motherhood, I could only serve at the capacity that I knew through others about pregnancy and labor and delivery and postpartum. I'm 10 and a half months postpartum, which I cannot believe because that means my baby is going to be 1 in a month and a half. I'm going to try not to cry saying that. Holy cow. So now my work is going to constantly be geared towards fitting and meeting you at whatever stage you're in. So if you're here and you're like, I'm just really interested in all these souls coming on the planet because it feels like there's a massive change happening, you will get something out of it. If you're pregnant, you will get something out of this. If you're in a space of being ready to conceive or connecting to your baby, or you're wanting to connect to your baby further, this is going to be a great starting point. And if you're postpartum, oh, I see you. It is such a wild fucking ride getting into the space of like knowing yourself all over again. So there's going to be something for everyone. And my intention is that with everything that I do from this point forward, there's going to be something for everyone in like any free masterclass that I do or group healing, because at the end of the day, when we're channeling energy, there should always be something that everyone can get from it. So now that I feel like I'm like on the other side, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. Like, I get how crazy this is. And I also have the capacity now because Peyton is starting to sleep and it's a life changer. Holy cow. Something that I probably should preface is these new earth babies need very minimal sleep. And I didn't get that download until I was like 39 weeks pregnant. I think God was like, I'm going to wait to tell her this. Um, and it's very real. But it's a really beautiful, it's like a catch-22 because it's a really beautiful thing. They're so embodied in their wholeness and their Christ consciousness that when they rest, it's literally like they go to the ethers, they connect to God, they get everything that they need, and then they come right back. So they're not, I don't want to say needing as much sleep because every baby is totally different. There could be some new earth babies that come in that love sleeping, but from personal experience, and I was pregnant with 6 friends and we're all healers. We all work within a similar space. And virtually every baby is like, yeah, I can supercharge. I can skip every nap. I can run off of 10 hours of sleep, like while nursing only. Like there's a lot of catch-22s with these little special souls. So I just want to put that preface out there because yeah, my angels gave me the warning like 2 weeks before I gave birth. Thank goodness the new earth bird because I would love sleep, but they're also fine without it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve for sure. But now Peyton, like he sleeps between us and he just nurses himself all night. So I wake up and I feel more like a person. So now we get to do master classes and healings and all these group events because I'm finding my rhythm. So with that being said, I'll give 2 more minutes. This is just, if you're catching the replay, you can fast forward to the 10-minute mark. So I'm just going to keep admitting people in. So we'll start at 11:11. We'll give it 3 minutes. That's pretty fitting. Oh, they love to travel. They always wake up with these crazy downloads. It's so interesting. My baby has 5 planets in Taurus and so many, and all of those placements are in the 9th house of travel and exploration. And he was an angel on the plane. Oh my gosh, we just went on our first family vacation and he's in this really big like babbling squealing phase right now. And the pilot, there was a pilot sitting behind us and he was like waving a pamphlet between the seats, and Peyton was just partying with this guy. Like he was having so much fun. He entertained him the whole flight. I was like, should I pay you? Like, did you just babysit my kid for me? But just like a traveling little whiz, as if he's done it a million times and it was our first family trip. So I haven't experienced the downloads yet because he's mostly just babbling to me all day, but I feel like I know what he's saying. It's like when you hear twins speaking their language, I kind of feel that way with Peyton. But that was a big piece of my work with DNA activations, was connecting to this rainbow frequency. And it was before I knew that the rainbow frequency was also connected to new earth babies. So I thought I was doing these Christ conscious activations, threading in these beautiful helixes, activating the janky dormant DNA, bringing this rainbow frequency and threading it through the body. And I thought that it was more, of course, my intention is that it's always of Christ light, of Christ consciousness, but I didn't make the connection that they were connected to new earth babies until I got pregnant. And I was just channeling this rainbow frequency constantly before I conceived. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is all interconnected. So, and when I was doing DNA activations for moms, they were reporting back constantly that they felt like their telepathy with their telepathic communication with their kids was so heightened afterwards. So it is really cool when you come full circle and you see like how all these different puzzle pieces fit in. And now I'm getting to see that with my almost 1-year-old. Oh my gosh. I was like, I'm not going to be the mom that gets emotional on the first birthday. And I'm already a puddle. So catch me in a month and a half when I just, yeah, they can't talk yet. They're only 6 months. Oh, the twins. Yeah. Peyton wakes up and he's like, blah, 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 and it's just like all over the place. And I'm like, oh, tell me everything. My husband comes home and he's like, what have you guys been talking about all day? And I'm like, everything. We've covered so much ground. I'm pretty sure he solved the world's problems today, all from the playpen with his John Deere tractor. So it's 11:11. We're beginning. I need to remember to put like a little cliff note in this video that we haven't actually started until 11:11. So today we are diving into all things New Earth babies. And again, wherever you are at, if you have a friend who's pregnant and you're just so curious about these special souls that are coming in, if you know at some point mamahood is in your blueprint, is written in the stars for you, if you're in conception, if you're in pregnancy, if you're in postpartum, if you're ways away, like you have grown kids, but you feel the resonance between this conversation and your kids or your grandkids, there is something for everyone. And with masterclasses, I've always intended to really paint a broad brushstroke so that there is something for everyone. It's not too, you have to fall into this one little spot, because that's just not real life. We all cover multiple bases within everything that we do. So what I would like to do today, and I'd love to hear in the comments if this feels good for you. I'm also so excited. This is my first masterclass since I think I was 9 months pregnant, was the last time that I was in this kind of a space. So I'm so excited about today. I was geeking out this morning. So I'd like to begin. I channeled a womb activation yesterday or 2 days ago, which just feels like a really beautiful practice for, again, wherever you're at. If you're wanting to work more with your womb to have easy breezy periods, or in conception or pregnancy or postpartum and beyond. So this feels like a really beautiful practice that could thread into all different stages. And we're just acknowledging that. So I'd love to begin there. And then that way we're just feeling full and whole and connected and clear. And then we'll just drop into the channel of everything that's coming through around these babies and our role as women on the planet, because it's so big and it's not to be overlooked. And again, whether you are a mom or an aunt or a godmother or grandmother, women carry such an important frequency on this planet. And with these babies coming in, that is amplified to the nth degree. So I'm just going to open my channel and just see everything that pours through, and we're gonna have a ton of fun while doing it. So how does that quick lay of the land feel for everyone? If you could throw it in the chat how that feels, and then also like, what are you hoping to get out of this today? Because then I might be able to, oh no, am I paused? Okay, I think I came back. My Wi-Fi's been a little wanky today, so just gonna preface that also, but I'd love to hear if that feels like a good plan. And then also what brought you here today. And then that way, if there's anything that we can thread in so that everyone gets a little piece. First and third trimester, the idea of coffee was so daunting and so ick. And then second trimester and postpartum, I fell in love with lattes again. And now I'm back on my like butter and coconut oil coffee. And as a mom with a baby who's ready to party at any hour of the day, it's just heavenly. Maybe this isn't a blanket, it's a sweater. You can come in. If you're new to my work, I have 4 dogs. And my 2 girls, one that's now in my sweater with me, and the other gal right here, they're my little healers. And they do the best job at alchemizing energy. So they sit on all my calls. But Nala's been a little extra Velcro today. This feels good for me. I'm 19 months postpartum and starting to call on baby number 2. Preconception phase. Also realized my name is not showing, but it's Abby here. Congratulations! Isn't it wild when you're like, I'm ready to do this again? Like there were so many phases that I was like, I just don't know. They might have a really big age gap. And then recently I'm like, I could do this again. I could do this again tomorrow. I'm excited. I have grown children, 8 and 9, but I'm working on opening my business to help postpartum moms and their connection with their children. Oh, that's so beautiful. And it's so needed. Oh my gosh. I'm sure every postpartum mom here can share that to find support that resonates and that you feel postpartum is so vulnerable. It's as vulnerable as labor and delivery. So when you feel that safe space that you can really just sink into to rediscover who you are, oh my gosh, it is such a needed space. Yes, being present with my womb always feels good, and I'm open to receiving my first new earth baby, and this work has been so supportive. Love you, Katie. Hi, Phoebe. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful children, Ruby 11 and Sebastian 9. I felt drawn to join this class. I'm not looking for anything in particular, just love learning more and being in a group of wonderful women. Oh, that's so special. And bless your sweet babies. Yeah, I feel like these new earth babies started when I was connecting to like, when did they start coming in? It felt like 2007-ish. And I think I feel like there's like an overlap with, because I know that there's like the indigo children and the rainbow babies, like there's so many different threadings. And truthfully, I stay in my lane and I stay in my channel. I don't read too many things because it can get a little convoluted and I don't like to regurgitate someone else's work or someone else's channeled work, especially. But I feel like 2007, like it really resonated. I'm like, I feel like there's like an overlap there. So it's really cool to think that frequencies just evolved in that space and we were able to start ushering in like this greater capacity to hold Christ consciousness on the planet. So I love that. So 11 and 9, that would absolutely fall in that realm of bringing in these other babies. And then I believe Caitlin has an 8 and 9. Yeah. So this is super pertinent to you all also. And I'm sure there'll be some things that we talk about frequency wise that you're like, oh my gosh, like my kids actually do this, or I see this in them or feel this about them. 17 weeks pregnant. I cannot believe it's 17 weeks. What the heck? When did that happen? I'm pretty sure it was your 4th session that you had sent me the pregnancy test. And I was like, but that was yesterday, Shannon. Oh my God. And I get to see you tomorrow. Feeling like I would love to experience some deep clearing to open space for calling and manifesting our future as a family. Oh, I love that. Been feeling called to open up my calendar back up to clients, but unclear in what way. 17 weeks. So you're like 4 weeks into the second trimester. From personal experience, at 22 weeks, I opened up my calendar to clients again. And then I closed at 34 weeks. And like that 12-week stint, I was so energized and so ready to serve and had such extra energy to hold space. And then at like 34 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm so tired and I have to get like my game face on because I've never done this before. So just let these few weeks roll in. Plus, I could totally see spring equinox and Aries season giving you that rejuvenation boost to open up your calendar. Just ride the wave of Pisces season. From a from a woman who has 5 planets in Pisces, this shit's bananas. Just let it flow out. Auntie with 2 nieces, 1 and 4, and 2 nephews, twins who are 1. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, I did not know that you were an auntie to 4 kiddos. That is awesome. Struggling with painful, sorry, the font just got really small. And I should technically be wearing glasses. Struggling with painful periods and really want to heal on all levels instead of just being dependent on painkillers. So nice to be live with you here. Oh my goodness. Well, not to toot my own horn, but to toot my own horn. Painful periods is my jam because I had endometriosis for a very long time and went down the painkiller route and the surgery route and the hormone therapy route and all the things. Naturally healed my body, naturally healed my womb, perfectly balanced my hormones to the best degree I could to have pain-free, easy, beautiful periods, conceived. My daughter then told me that I was going to have a miscarriage. And then all of these gifts came on to heal and to channel and to work with frequency and DNA activations and all the things. So I was my first client in that realm, and I'm very, very good at this threading. So amazing. I feel like we all like know each other a little bit more, which is so important. I'm just gonna give my dog my sweater because apparently she needs it more than I do. So if you are in a comfortable, cozy space, fantastic. If maybe you want to go lay down, if you want to just get some pillows or prop yourself up, I'm a huge advocate for energy is always going to work with you when your body is feeling supported and relaxed. So just take a minute to go get comfy, cozy, and then we're going to drop into the womb activation. Also, with my work, it is very, and Shannon can attest to this, it's very common that your body temperature gets a bit cooler when we're doing big activations or we're clearing, creating space, channeling. When energy is shifting around and shifting out and space is getting created, it's almost like this beautiful, cool breeze can come through. So if you want to grab a blanket, feel free to do that too. And then we will begin. Yeah, so today's going to be a lot of when we are working within the frequency of new earth babies, we can really tease apart that thread. We're also working within the frequency of new earth, heaven on earth, the next golden age. Those 3 are same frequency. God, source, universe, spirit, same frequency. So use whatever resonates with you. I tend to use new earth and God. Those are my 2, and angels. Those are my reference points, but fill in the blank for whatever resonates with you. But when we're working with these frequencies, we're working within something that has been prophesied since the beginning of time. So we can feel the largeness that comes with that. And in order for Gaia to move through her ascension with us going along for the ride, we're constantly moving within this ascension energy. We ascend and then we descend and then we balance. We ascend, we descend, we balance. So we're constantly in this ripple of movement. When we're working within New Earth babies, we're really, really towing the line with Christ consciousness. And when we pull from those activations and we pull from those expansions within our own consciousness, within our own experience, we're opening up a huge portal for energy to move through us. So whenever you do this practice, I want you to think about the bigness of your incarnation here, the bigness of your human experience, the bigness of your family, whatever that looks like or feels like, or you're dreaming of, really connecting to all that is and all that can be, because we live in an infinitely abundant universe. And when we come back to God being within us, Christ consciousness being within us, Christ being within us, then we open up this massive expansion for everything that we know is destined for us. So today's practice, connecting to the sacral chakra, the reproductive space, the space that holds abundance within finances, sensuality, sexuality, creation. There is so much housed in this space. So it really anchors into the energy of multidimensionality as well. So we're going to really step into the bigness today. I hope that feels really good. It feels really exciting to say that. Like it's almost a new perspective on abundance, is the bigness that our lives can be, the bigness of our journeys here, and the bigness of this frequency. And just take a nice deep breath. And before we begin, calling in God and your angels to wrap you in a golden frequency of unconditional love, Christ consciousness, activation, expansion, wholeness, happiness, and Christ light. And feeling almost as if you are being wrapped with a ribbon around your entire body so that you are held in this frequency cocoon. And just breathing into this energy. And in this space, each of you are individually held within your own light, within your own energy, within your own frequency. While we're working in group spaces, we always want to be very intentional with we are in our orbit. We're not dabbling in one another's. We're not pulling from anywhere or anything. We are working within the infinite, limitless, abundant energy that we have available within us and within our orbit. We're recalibrating and reconfiguring energy so that it matches exactly what we're needing and also what we're wanting in these moments. So just feeling this ribbon of Christ light, God, divine protection, unconditional love, wholeness, light, 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 expansion, amplification within Christ consciousness wrapping around you. And then as if you have a Saturn ring or you're in a bubble, this is your space. This is your space to get everything that you need. And this is a beautiful way to start each day or complete each day, is to really come back into the space, because our ascension is based on wholeness. In order to move forward within our ascension process, to activate Christ codes within us, resonating at that frequency of everything being within us, we're only able to access that from a wholeness, from a space of wholeness. It feels really out of grasp when we're working from a space of fragmentation. So really just feeling into the energy of your space, of your cocoon, of your true, infinitely abundant nature that is all around you and all within you. And taking a nice deep breath and breathing into the wholeness of your body and repeating after me internally or externally, however it feels good for you. I call back all of my power. I call back all of my energy, all of my essence, all of my magic, all of my divine gifts, purpose, and mission. I call back all of me to this now moment. I call back all of me from all planets, all realities, all dimensions, all timelines. I call back all of me to this now moment, to this body, to this timeline. And just breathe into the wholeness, into the fullness, into all the light that is moving through you in this now moment. Feeling all these beautiful golden puzzle pieces coming back to your body. No more will we accept fragmentation. From this moment on, your baseline is wholeness. That is your standard. Breathe into that. When we upgrade our standards and we expect our energy, our mind, our body, our spirit, our auric field, all of us to be full, to be whole, to be one with us, our worlds change. Commanding and demanding and declaring any energies, any entities, any bonds, any binds, any chains, any strongholds, Anything that is not of Christ's light, that is not of the highest good, that is not of the highest service, is denounced and released now. And you might start to feel a little shifting, almost like space being created within your body or within your head. There's a lot of expansion within the mind that I'm feeling. You might feel a release in your feet or in your ankles if there was something trying to pull you down. With that, you might feel almost like some tingly or cold toes. Maybe your throat chakra feels a bit more open, or any shackles that were around your wrist energetically, your hands and your fingers might be getting a little chilly and some tingles in them. You might get some chills up and down your body, just feeling into the releasing of letting go. Because sometimes we have all these projections and all these curses from other lives and within our family that just roll over to us. And it takes us to really step into a place of wholeness and personal power to change that landscape and to say no more. And sometimes feeling all of our power come back into us, feeling all of our wholeness come back to us, it can feel a little overwhelming for a minute because we move through at this rate of fragmentation. So I want you to really feel into the abundance that is held within your body and the power that is held within this moment of wholeness. And breathe this in to be your baseline. And a practice to do this would be to choose one of your chakras. We can channel through our chakras, they're energetic hubs of communication for our body. And our big player can change every day. So you might really feel connected to the sacral chakra one day and the crown the next. Just doing a scan of your body and seeing which energetic space is really communicating with you. And then just breathe in wholeness. Breathe in this recalibration of wholeness, this new standard of wholeness, this new expectation of wholeness, really breathing that into your moment. Setting your body up to expect your energy to come back to you every day. No more fragmenting. No more allowing individuals to take from your energy. No more. You are a whole, abundant, infinite being, as are the people around you. And when we come back to this space of integrity to pull from our energetic resource within us, we operate at a completely different frequency and we move in a different way. Because we are dependent on the energy within us. We are dependent on the wholeness within us. We are dependent on God, source, universe, this higher plan that is guiding us. We are dependent on our individual channel to move us forward, to guide us. And when we come back to that space of personal power from an empowered place of wholeness, everything changes. And take a nice deep breath, breathing all the way into the sacral chakra, into the womb space. And intuit, envision, see whatever gifts you are working with in the space. Envision the inside of your sacral chakra as the inside of a beehive, seeing all the rows of honeycomb surrounding your entire sacral chakra. There's something so healing and also so abundant about honey. It's quite magical if you think about it, the process of honey being created. So feeling that magical energy within your sacral chakra, we're going to utilize the honey to flow through the entire reproductive space, gathering any density, any trauma, any curses, any projections, any heaviness, any density, anything that has been thrown upon you, anything that is not of the highest good, that is not of the highest light, that is not of Christ consciousness, anything that is not yours to carry is going to be collected within this honey and cleared out. And you can almost feel the slow pouring of this honey, the thickness, the heaviness, then collecting all the density and moving out of the body. And just breathe into this practice. When we bring in elements or something tangible like honey, our mind is very easy to get on board because the mind is saying, oh, I can visualize that. I know the texture of honey. I know the process of the bees. I know what a honeycomb looks like. I can get on board. We are constantly in negotiation with our minds because our strongest intuitive points are the gut and the heart. But through programming on this planet, we have given all of the power to our minds. So we are in constant negotiation with our minds to open up to intuitive knowledge, inner wisdom, and our channel to God. So when we bring in a very clear visualization, the mind is able to drop the guard and allow the healing process to occur. This creates safety within the body because there's very coherent communication. The gut says, ooh, this is working. The heart says, ooh, this is helping. And the mind says, oh, I understand. And that is what we want. We want fluid communication within our body, within our mind, within our spirit, within our subconscious and conscious minds. We want clear communication because that is an element of wholeness. We are not separate from aspects of ourself. And when we learn how to thread these communication pathways, we are able to move forward in extraordinary ways. Wholeness is what you were destined for. It is your true nature. And just tune in. Just take a deep breath. And just feel into the womb space. Feel into the space being created. Feel into the reproductive space, opening and expanding. Calling upon the golden spine of the new earth to integrate into each of you, integrate with each of you. So we can intuit, envision, know that this golden spine is actually a golden helix. It's tied to our 8th strand DNA and the 7th, but primarily the 8th, which is activated through Christ consciousness. If you turn the 8 to the side, it's an infinity sign. So the 8s are very powerful within numerology because they define this infinite connection, this infinite love, this infinite possibility. And it stems from Christ consciousness. So when we integrate the 8th strand DNA, we activate it through the spine, which is not how every activation goes. But the reason that we do this is because when we thread this helix, it's a quadruple helix, it's all just emanating and radiating this beautiful gold. When we pull this through the spine, we are then able to connect each of your energetic systems, your chakras, to this golden spine. What this does is it creates a very heavenly activation through the body, alignment. We're then able to connect all of your energetic systems, your chakra systems, into a space of communication, harmony, and balance. And this activates the crystalline grid within your body. Whether you are a leader to heaven on earth, wanting to conceive, wanting to connect to your spirit babies, wanting to be pregnant, you are postpartum, you are raising babies, you are a grandmother. When people, I might be biased, but especially women, when we step into this activation, when we step into wholeness, when we step into complete, coherent communication within all aspects of self, we are able to be the mothers of the earth really needs, that humanity really needs. We step into this space of our third eye is seeing into the heavens, and we're able to then see that availability on our planet. And we're able to lead the way from a space of empathy, understanding, and unconditional love. And that is the walk of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, all the ascended masters, and the quote unquote fallen angels as well. So feeling this quadruple helix of light, of gold frequency moving down through the entire spine. When we open up our crown chakra and we are channeling through the crown, we tend to receive through the crown chakra and down to the spine. If we have a lot going on, if we are stressed, if we are moving through a bunch of change, or if everyday life is just a little cray-cray, we don't always process the messages that we receive, the downloads that we get. So we can get a bit of backlog in the spine. This tends to manifest as some like back discomfort or tightness or knots. So when we thread this quadruple helix down to the spine, what we're doing is clearing out any residual backlog. So from the root shock, as this quadruple helix anchors in, from the root lock, we are then opening up a detox pathway for all density, backlog, residual, anything that we are carrying within our channel is to be cleared out now. Lots of cracks in my spine when we do that. If you're laying down, you might want to do a supine twist or two. If you're seated, you can do a few stretches. Just moving all this energy out. Activations are so fun. I love leading these. And I love peeping and seeing all of you roll in and twist in and move in. The best way to get energy flowing on out. Take a nice deep breath. And breathing this gold frequency all the way down into the root. And we're going to see two pathways of communication. And we can envision these as golden rods or golden paths or golden staircases or ladders, however it resonates with you. From the root lock, you're going to see this golden pathway anchoring into the golden spine. In this space, we are holding, commanding balance, alignment, and true harmony within the root. Because the safer, the more secure that our root feels, the safer and more secure our bodies feel, and our minds, and our energy, and our emotions, and so on and so forth. You're going to then see the second pathway leading up to the sacral chakra, opening up true communication. No more confusion. Bringing in truth, bringing in harmony, breathing in light. And feeling this gold frequency fill up your sacral chakra from the bottom up. And then from one side, you're seeing this golden rod extend into the golden spine. And then from the next, all the way up to the solar plexus. Feeling your body filling from your toes all the way up with this golden, Christ-like, heavenly light. Feeling the lightness in your body and the heaviness in the surrender. Feeling this duality as we move through this space. Breathing this light all the way up into the solar plexus. This is a beautiful placeholder to just check in with your wholeness, with your power, with all of you coming back to you. And feeling that extension to the golden spine, the quadruple helix, the new earth. And feeling this ascension then from the solar plexus all the way up into the heart space. And from this heart space, commanding your heart to expand, releasing any confines, any chains, anything keeping the heart tight. Releasing all of that and expanding. Pushing out the edges of your heart space so that you have the capacity to hold unconditional love for self. Because when we unconditionally love ourselves, we see the world in a completely new light. and feeling that extension into the quadruple helix within the spine, and feeling that ascension all the way up into the throat chakra. Activating your throat to fully speak your truth, your knowing, your wisdom, releasing any tightness, anything trying to quiet your truth, releasing all of this now, and feeling the connection to the quadruple helix within the spine, and then the rising into the third eye. In this space, commanding the pineal and pituitary gland to reconnect, to reharmonize, to realign, and to expand your vision, expand your capacity to see, to know, to intuit through your third eye. Commanding any veils or projections to be released now. Activating your third eye to your eyes, and feeling this incredible pyramid of energy flowing from the third eye to the left eye, across to the right eye, up to the third eye, and activating that sacral temple, that sacred temple, that sacred space of sight, activating this in its truth, in its integrity, in its wholeness, as if the lights have turned on for the first time and you're no longer trying to see through the dark. Connecting this to the quadruple helix within the spine, and then rising all the way to the crown chakra. Immediately connecting the crown chakra to this quadruple helix, and then all the way up into God, source, universe, spirit, angels, into your space of divinity, to the higher frequency and the higher consciousness that you pray for, that you pray to, that you know is always supporting you infinitely. Feel this connection to God, to source, universe, spirit, angels, then pour down with this magnificent white light through the crown, the tops of the head, the sides of the head, down through the third eye, the temples, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the chin, down the back of the head, the back of the neck, down the throat chakra, through the collarbone and the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and out the fingers, releasing any residual, any density, any heaviness, anything that the upper body is holding, feeling this all release out through the fingertips and transmute to light, to Christ consciousness, to the frequency of God. Feeling this white light move down through the chest, through the heart chakra, down the whole back and the whole spine, down the solar plexus, the sides of the waist, through the whole body, activating the truth within the gut, true harmony within the gut, true release within the gut, healing, repairing anything within the gut that is out of alignment, allowing detox to occur, detox pathways to open up, and your body to fully release and let go of anything heavy, anything dense, anything toxic, anything that is not of the highest good, and anything that is not of the highest service to your body and to your moment. Releasing all of this now, feeling this reparation come in. Moving this white light all the way down through the reproductive space, releasing any projections, any traumas, any curses, any triggers, any pain, anything that is not of truth, anything that is not of God, anything that is not of your blueprint, your mission, your purpose, your pathway in this light. Releasing everything now, feeling that spaciousness be created, moving all the way down into the root and feeling the safety and security anchor into the connection to God, source, universe, spirit, angels, feeling that divinity wrap around your entire body, your entire energy, your entire system, moving all the way down the upper legs, the knees, the lower legs, the feet, releasing any density, any residual, any backlog out through the bottoms of the feet, opening up this detox pathway, feeling your body radiate and fill with Christ light. And breathe. And now breathing into the sacral chakra. We're going to walk into our highest available timeline. And you are going to receive everything that is meant for you in this moment. Whether that be motherhood, auntie-hood, grandma-hood, best friendship, supporting all the magical souls that are coming into the planet. Allow yourself to open, expand, expanding your vision and expanding your capacity to hold all that is meant for you. Because we've been taught to be very narrow and small. And that's not what this human experience is about. In order to step into heaven on earth, we have to expand our capacity to hold abundance in every single aspect of this life. The world needs healing. And the most incredible healing comes from this space. And as you step into your sacral chakra, you are transported to the quantum field. Rippling light, frequency all around. And beneath you is a golden path. And with every step you take, a layer falls away. A layer of identity, of illusion, of past experience. These layers fall away. And as you look up, there is a beautiful white doorway, an archway into the new. And in order to cross this threshold, you must release the old. So with every step you take, you inch closer and closer to this archway. And as you are toe to toe with great change, heaven on earth, new earth, the next golden age, you drop the final layer of the old and you fully step into the new. I'll mind the time. For the next 10 minutes, explore all that is destined for you. And I'll bring you back in just a moment. And slowly wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, gently bringing yourself back to your body, to your moment, to your space, and to your reality. God, please create a force field around all women who come in contact with this recording. May they be filled with light, love, wholeness, divinity, protection, guidance, fullness, unconditional love, confidence, certainty, and clarity. Pouring in purifying light through each of our individual orbits. No more is energy allowed, or entities, or people, or deities, or anything that is not of the highest good. No more are these beings allowed to take from any energy, any body, any space. From this point forward, we are whole, we are connected, we are clear, we are confident, we are anchored in our highest available timeline and all that is meant for us. We are connected to our bodies, to our moment, to our wholeness, to our energy, and to our divine light, and the infinite abundance within us. And just breathe into that. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the body, so the soul. And whenever you feel ready, just slowly blinking your eyes back and returning to the space. If you would like to share or ask questions in the chat, kind of create a little space for that before we start channeling all things New Earth babies. Or if you just need a minute to come back to Earth and come back to your body, that works too. Then you are more than welcome to stay nice and cozy for the remainder of our time together. And even if you don't want to share your experience, that is perfectly fine. That is yours to experience, but I would just love to know how you're feeling. So we did multiple activations. It's always so incredible when we drop into these spaces, because I come in thinking, oh, I was shown this, so this is what we're going to do. And then God's like, haha, psych, we're going to do like 5 activations. Here we go. Which is so special. This is something that you can tune back to as many times as you desire, and the multitude of activations and clearings that we move through in the space, you'll always get something out of it. And that's magical. That really connects into this true abundance, this infinite abundance within us. Mm. We have so much sunshine today, which is so supportive. When we are moving through so many collective activations and waves of ascension on the planet, sometimes sending anchoring energy into the earth, it doesn't feel as stable. Depends on the day, depends on the energy. But if there's ever a day that you're feeling really ungrounded and you're wanting to find stability within your bodies, a really incredible tool is to envision an anchoring cord to the sun versus to the earth. The sun is filled with life force energy and is always supplying for us. So when we connect to that infinite energy, it creates a channel of fluidity and groundedness within our system. So if you have like your feet in the grass, or you're sending an anchoring cord and you're like, why am I not feeling the stability come in? Feel free to send that anchoring cord to the sun. That usually supplies a lot of solar activation within the body, that integrates new codes that we have within our body as well. It's a great connection to Christ's light, and it can also just really ground our systems. Whenever it's sunny out, we'll go on walks and we'll just stop and like bask in it. It's so nice. My baby's becoming a little sun baby now too. Feeling a little fuzzy, foggy. Definitely felt some shifts happening in the body during the womb activation. Also experienced some pain in my left foot, which is something clearing out. Definitely something clearing out. We created those detox pathways at the bottom of your feet for energy to flow out. If there's right side of the body is masculine, left side of the body is feminine. So much more than that, but that's like a really easy thing to connect to. So if you are moving through some different like projections or illusions or ties within your feminine energy, then you can envision that all just clearing out, draining out, creating spaciousness. Also, when we rebalance the right and the left sides of the body, which is what we did by connecting all of our energy systems, there can be almost like the scales come in and then there's a big detox on the other side. Drink a lot of water with lemon and sea salt following today's call. That's always my little pro tip. Really beautiful, and I felt I dropped in deep, and it was very warm yellow color. It was showering towards the end, and then more of a flickering flame. Oh, that's so beautiful. Love that so much. Beautiful addition to the most divine dream I had last night. Oh, she was here on my chest. Like I could feel her, and she was the most beautiful soul. I have never had a dream like that, stepping through the golden arch. We were holding hands. Oh, Katie, that's so, so beautiful. She is here. And that's the big thing with spirit babies, is because we have grown up within this programmed world of everything is outside of us, we then begin to see our children being outside of us. So then when we're wanting to connect to these special souls, we almost create our own roadblock because we're like, they're in the ether somewhere. How am I going to connect to them? How am I going to hear them? How am I going to receive them? When that's not true. Our babies, when we look at it from even a science perspective, there are DNA remnants from all the babies that we carry in our bodies. So they are quite literally a part of us from a physical perspective and also an energetic. So when we tune inward and we connect to this place of power, connect to this place of wholeness, reconnect our energy system so that we're channeling from a very clear, divine, heavenly space, we're able to access our babies in such a different way. And we're able to then connect to our babies, whether they are just on the other side of the veil or they are here in physical form. We're able to connect to them in such a different way either, because we're no longer acting from this space of they're outside of us. We're connecting to the true nature that we are a part of them as much as they are a part of us. And that opens up clear communication pathways in a multitude of ways, through the body and through our babies as well. I feel so clear and relaxed. It's hard to find the words for the magic I felt right now. It was just so magical. Thank you so much, Phoebe. Yeah, absolutely. Is this the first time? Give like a hand raise if this is the first time you've done a session with me, or toss it in the chat. I know Katie and Shannon are OGs, and Jen too. But if this is the first time that you've experienced my work, I'd love to know. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that. So these spirit babies, these new earth babies, these heaven on earth babies, as Jesus incarnate babies, these magical, magical souls that are coming into the planet. So when we look at our generation, we have done a lot of cleanup, right? So many of us have done so much ancestral work and reprogramming and reconditioning and reharmonizing and recalibrating and rebalancing. And we've done so much clear out to really disconnect from the thoughts, the patterns, the programs that are not in alignment with the soul, with God, with angels, with this deep knowing that heaven on earth, it's been prophesized for a reason. And we know that. We know that in a way that we can't yet articulate, but it's just something that we've known for our whole lives. And we go through a million dark nights of the soul and all the things, and we arrive in this space where we have cleared so much out for our lineage. And that's our role. We came in as the space creators, the change makers, the breakers of chains, the leaders in so many ways. And so much of us that have motherhood, and the way that I see it is, if you've known your whole life that you want to be a mom, you already are. It's written in the stars, it's written in your DNA, it's written in your blueprint. It's already a contract between you and your babies and you and God. It's just a matter of that timeline coming in. And the timeline, someone has nothing to do with you. It's your babies. They are their own being. They have their own mission. They have their own path that they need to walk. So if you have this deep, beautiful, wisdom-filled knowledge that you are meant to be a mom in this lifetime, that motherhood is your pathway, then it's stepping into the space of really releasing any kind of fear around that, of when it's going to happen, or anxiety around when it's going to happen, or how it's going to happen, or who it's going to happen with. And it's really dropping into the space of trust. And this goes for anything, right? We need to step into the space of releasing control and surrendering into trust. Then when we're pregnant, and then when we're postpartum and beyond, because children are here to constantly teach us that we are here to experience life. We can't control it. And when we try to control it, it doesn't pan out the way that we desire. So through all these intricate teachings that we've experienced throughout our lives, we then step into the space of being ready for our babies to come in. And these babies are not coming in to deal with ancestral trauma or drama. They're not here to clean house. They're not here to cut chains and cords and deal with, for lack of a better word, everything that we have. We signed on to clear the path, but they are here to guide the world. So we can almost look at this as like we're shoveling snow on a walkway so that the path is clear, so that they can come in and do their work. And yes, we are these magnificent beings of light as well. Don't want to discount any of us either. We're doing a lot of heavy work around here, but we're here to leave the world better than we found it. And when we think about that from a legacy perspective, our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren and our great and great and great and great and great-grandchildren, we're doing all of this heavy lifting right now, all this clearing and space creating and expansion and internal work, and being the black sheep of our family, because we so desperately want this world to be better than how we arrived. And it's not just for us. And it's barely for us. It's for everyone that's going to come after us. And whether that's nieces and nephews or children, or friends' children that are like your nieces and nephews, right? We're envisioning, we're connecting to that prophecy, we're connecting to that frequency, we're connecting to that intuitive knowing that heaven on earth is a reality that this planet is destined for, that humanity is destined for. And if we do not charge into that now, there's no reason for Gaia to keep a bunch of humans on her dealing with us, right? So we're connecting to that deep intuitive knowing, and we're doing so much work on the planet to rise within our activation of Christ consciousness, rise within our individual ascension, carry some of the load for our families in order to bring them up with us, because we can all rise together. And that way our babies are able to come in and walk this clear path. We don't want them to be bogged down by all the things that we've come up against and we've cleared out that aren't necessarily ours, but are showing up within our families. We don't want that for them. We want them to come in and make an impact. And that's what they're here to do. So over the course of time, in order to come into the planet, we've had to essentially fragment. The planet was descending in consciousness continuously and somewhat rapidly over the course of the human experience, as in like the beginning of time human experience. And through that dissension, the planet essentially was then locked into this space of third dimensional consciousness, the most dense planet within our sphere of knowledge, which means all these angels and other beings of this incredible frequency of Christ light and unconditional love were not able to reach us. So we can then envision like a dark veil all around the globe. So in order for all of us to incarnate, we fragmented to come in. So now we're in this place of restoration of light, reconnection to wholeness. And we're learning how to hold that in our bodies, right? When we reconnected to called all your power in, all of you back, did you feel almost like you just had a giant meal and like your body was very expanded? Or did you feel so many tingles and so much energy like you wanted to go run a couple laps? Or maybe you felt a little overstimulated and a little overwhelmed and you felt like you needed to go take a nap, right? We're not used to being whole because from the moment that we chose to come in, we were forced to fragment in order to come in, which is incredible, right? There's like a 1 in 400 trillion chance of us arriving here. So we can think about how much of our light we had to kind of leave out the door, knowing that we would find it again, but knowing that we were going to have to walk a pretty crazy path to get there. So throughout the course of this massive awakening that's been on the planet for so many years now, and we've been seeing it. I woke up today and I was quickly going through Instagram and I saw so many posts of people talking about their relationship to God, which was so cool. Seeing so many people say like, I'm non-conventional, like I don't do X, Y, and Z, but I know that there's a higher power. I know that there is Christ light around me all the time. I know that my Christ consciousness is rising. I know that I'm awakening because of my connection to this higher power. It was like 10 different stories that I slid through. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Because that shows Christ consciousness rising. It doesn't matter how you pray or who you pray to and what way that resonates or the name that you call God, source, universe, spirit, angels. Doesn't matter. It's that true belief in the frequency of this higher power that cares so much about humanity, that cares so much about unconditional love. When we connect to that frequency of unconditional love, it can feel overwhelming for us because we're not used to it. And when we get disconnected from our connection to the divine, the frequency of unconditional love feels really big. And that's exactly what we want to repair. Because when we connect to the frequency of unconditional love, we anchor into that true connection within us. We expand in our light and we're able to bring wholeness in. Because if we're tight and contracted and fear-ridden and, we're constantly being filled with toxins from external resources, we don't have the capacity to hold our light. And we fragment further and we get further and further away from the divine, from our soul, from our mission, from our truth. We ripple further out. We want to bring wholeness in. So through this experience on the planet, through this expansion in Christ consciousness, through this awakening that's happening, we're now seeing a lot of density and a lot of darkness and a lot of evil shit, full transparency. But that's necessary because heaven on earth can't be built on rocky, quick to fall through the cracks foundation. And we wouldn't want it to, because that legacy piece, we're here to leave the world in an extraordinary way, not rocky, not war-filled, not divided. And we're bringing in these magical souls so that they can continue to lift humanity, lift consciousness, lift the planet. So what we're seeing right now, if you look out and you see all the chaos happening in the world and you're like, what's happening? It's the detox. In order to detox the planet, we have to have awareness around it. Because if we don't have awareness, there's that possibility of repetition. We're not here to repeat humanity's mistakes. We're here to learn that they happened, to rearrange, recalibrate, rise in consciousness, know better, and move forward in universal oneness, in Christ oneness, in God oneness, however that resonates for you. So we're seeing this detox right now. And I always relate this to liver detoxes. If you've ever done a liver detox, the first couple weeks of it are so intense because the liver is like the filter for the body. It holds everything. Everything has to pass through it. So when you do a liver detox, it's really intense because all the toxins in your body are then being pushed into the liver, and then the liver is already holding this toxic load and is trying to slowly detox everything out without getting you sick, but making you aware that this is how many toxins was in your body. So the first couple of weeks are really intense because it's massive purification. We are in that right now. We are in that as a human race. We are in that as a collective. We are able to see this detoxification happening through individuals all around us and through ourselves. We are moving through the biggest awakening that has ever occurred on the face of the earth. And this has been prophesied since the beginning of time. So there's so much duality held in that. So when these babies come in, consciousness has now risen. We have expanded in awakening. So that dark veil that we spoke about that was wrapped around the globe has a lot of puncture wounds. So there is the ability and the availability for these babies to come in completely whole in their light. Whoa. This has not been done. So for all of you, knowing that motherhood is on your radar, trying to conceive, pregnant, postpartum, bringing these babies in, we go through a lot of intensity within our bodies. We go through, I used to always tell my acupuncturist, who's an incredible healer, and say like, man, I wish on the back of the pregnancy test, there was like a little disclaimer, like more shadow work than you've ever done before. Good luck. Because it felt like every day I was like shedding a whole new identity and like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And then I'd rise and be like, I'm so excited, like the world is going to be saved. And then the next day I'd be peeling off another layer. And again, I have 5 planets in Pisces. Like I can get really into the weeds and be sitting in the bath, like crying and layer and layer and layer and layer. But through this whole process, and every day I'd be connecting to all of my babies and I'd be like, all right, what's going on here? Like really had a different perspective on how this is going to feel. And don't get me wrong, I loved pregnancy, but being a channel and a healer and having the site that I do created a lot of space for a lot of intensity. Thank God I have dogs. They just were all over me all the time. But every time I would connect to my babies, it was the same message that in order to hold them in their wholeness and in their light, I had to constantly be clearing to create space, which makes so much sense. As women, we hold so much in our reproductive space because one, we contract. So we're squeezing our belly, we're squeezing our body, we're tightening. And then what's the easiest place to then suppress that? In the womb. Because arguably the back of the womb connects to the quantum field. So in our minds, in our energetic minds, the womb can handle it. The reproductive space can handle it because they have infinite space. So we suppress and we suppress and we suppress and we put everything into the reproductive space because there's this infinite availability. So now we're getting pregnant and baby is growing. Well, no one wants to grow in a space that feels tight and heavy and dense and contracting. It's the idea that if you put a goldfish in a really tight cup, they'll never grow. But if you put them in the ocean, they can be like bigger than a shark. So these new earth babies coming in their wholeness, coming in their light, coming in extremely activated into Christ consciousness. I mean, I look at my baby every day and I'm like, I swear to God, you are Jesus incarnate. Like, it is just incredible. The light, the joy, the love, the inquisitive, curious. I mean, anywhere he goes, everyone is smiled. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's drawn to us. He just brings in, he holds so much unconditional love. And I was talking about how he's starting to give kisses now. I mean, he spends all day crawling up to our dogs and kissing them. I mean, it's just, I've never seen such a love-filled little being. And all of my girlfriends, we had, again, there were 6 of us pregnant at the same time. We're seeing this in all of our kids. They are just these radiating with love beings. And we think that, okay, we were here to do all this heavy lifting, to clear the ancestral drama and trauma, to clear the projections, to clear the programming, to really see through the bullshit, and to be that black sheep of the family in order to be that lighthouse for humanity. That is a courageous, courageous path. And each of us who walk it, that doesn't just stop when we get pregnant. Now we've done so much work. Now it's time for us to expand within our light, within our Christ consciousness, within our energy, to hold this ever expanding, limitless, abundant, beautiful, Christ conscious being who is fully intact with their light. It's never been done. But they're not coming in to deal with the stuff that we have, to put it pretty bluntly. They're coming in to lead the world, and they're coming in to change the world. And while we have created such massive impact, and that's so evident when we look around and we can see this expansion in Christ consciousness, we can see all the evil that's been just operating on the planet. That's all boiling to the surface. I was just saying to Katie on our call the other day that you can have conversations now with people that you never thought would step into a space of awakening. And they're saying things now and you're like, holy shit, like, welcome to the table. This is awesome. And we're seeing that. We're seeing this reconnection to God, source, universe, spirit, to this path. It's almost like each of us are remembering the path of Jesus is also the path that we're walking. And then we find this incredible comfort and divine protection and divine guidance. And we find all these people around us that are coming back to that pathway. And then in that, we are able to expand and create so much space. And if walking into motherhood is our path, that space creation then continues so that this baby is able to grow and expand within us with maximum capacity. They're never stunted. They never once have to fragment or let go or choose a new way. We start our expansion to hold them, and we amplify our expansion to grow with them, and we amplify our expansion to return to ourselves while being their guide on the planet. So there's so many different, again, it's such a multidimensional experience. And also that multidimensionality is written in the stars for each of us because they're coming in whole. We're on the pathway of returning the wholeness. So we're learning as we go. And then these babies come in and they are our infinite teachers. But we're their bodyguards in this life. We're taking on the ancestral stuff and we're reprogramming and reconfiguring and phasing things out and bringing things in and changing them and recalibrating and alchemizing and transmuting. That's our pathway. We are these master alchemists. These babies are coming in to ensure that heaven on earth happens. And that's our legacy. Think about from the bigger picture that when we are in our 90s or our hundreds, because humans are living so much longer now. And if we anchor into heaven on earth, who knows how long we'll truly live. But when we are thinking back to this one moment where things felt so heavy and so dark, and maybe at times like all hope was lost. And now we're anchored into heaven on earth. Fast forward 50 years. And every single person on the planet has a full stomach and a house and blankets. And every animal on the planet is loved and revered. And there's no war or abuse or any of the atrocities that have happened within the human race. And we reached this point of realizing that we did it. We actually did it. Every prophecy had come true. And we reached the point of universal wholeness. And we ascend in consciousness and we rise in frequency, and we are lifted to meet our star cosmic brothers and sisters all over the cosmos. We're reconnected to God, to unconditional love, and we're able to then connect to other beings that are connected to God and unconditional love, and we're able to communicate and create, and who knows, maybe save other planets in the future. And we reach this pivotal moment of looking back to this moment in time and realizing that all roads led to this great change. And that's what these babies are bringing in. And that's huge. They are here to change everything in the way that everything needs to be changed. And it is an absolute blessing that we get to be the sacred carriers of these souls, or friends with, or related to the sacred carriers of these souls, and to support in whatever way that we can as they journey through their human experience to create this great change, to anchor in heaven on earth. But when we think about all the work that we've done to reconnect to wholeness, all the clearings and the meditations and throwing ourselves on the grass when we need to ground and facing some really dark and heavy things in order to reach the space of spaciousness and light and connection and clarity. When we think to all those moments that we've done so many things, this is the hero's journey, and we each signed on for it. So I think this is everything that wants to come through around these new earth babies. I'm going to pause here. Feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat. We'll go off of some questions, and then I'm going to give a little intro into the Mama Refresh, which I'm so excited about. And then we'll complete. And this replay will be sent to you all, so you can go back to it as many times as your heart desires. So any question, just start dumping them in. I'm going to talk quickly about the Mama Refresh so that it's here, and then I'll answer any questions. So the Mama Refresh is a 30-day experience. And this is it's the same if you just want a refresh program and you know motherhood's in your future someday. If you are in conception, or if you are in pregnancy, if you are in postpartum, if you are a mom to a 8, 9, 11-year-olds, this is for you. This is a little moment of peace within crazy days, a moment of calm, and moments to bring you back into wholeness. So I record, I think I'm almost halfway done. We're officially starting on the 18th. That's my intention. Pisces things, who knows, we might start after the equinox if energy just keeps getting super spicy. But I've recorded, I think, 9 out of the 10 on walks with my dogs and my baby, of course. So the intention is to work with you. If you're able to sit down and enjoy a cup of tea or coffee or sit in a bath and listen to these recordings, incredible. If life is happening really fast and you need to listen on the go, these are made for you. So every day is a 5 to 15 minute track. I don't think I'm capable of only recording something for 5 minutes. It's just not in my nature. Everything is probably a 8 to 18 minute track. And it's all reconnection practices. So I'll probably create more now on the second half to connecting to babies, but the first 10 have all just been connecting to you, connecting to your wholeness, connecting to your energy, connecting to your body, activations, meditations, healings, realignments, because coming back to ourselves, whether we're in conception, pregnancy, or postpartum, is such an intricate puzzle piece in order for us to be these expanders, to continue to create the space for these babies. And we can't forget about ourselves along the way. And it's so easy to do, because when you're thinking about conception, you're thinking about your baby. When you're pregnant, you're thinking about your baby. And when you're postpartum, you're thinking about your baby. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I like need to shower and brush my teeth, and I need to do things because I'm a person. And I've experienced that every step of the way. So I have made all these recordings based off of like what would have been so helpful for me, and like quick, easy to turn on recordings to support me. That was the ticket. So there will be 30 tracks. All are freshly recorded. Nothing is reused. Nothing is copy and pasted. I'm channeling it as I go. I'm going to be doing the program with you all. And it's going to be very low ticket because I want this to be accessible to everyone. I think there's going to be I think it's going to be $44 is that's how I've been feeling into it, that it's super accessible. I've been seeing 44 everywhere. So I think that that's a big sign too. And that'll lead into a 3-month container on the back end. But the Mama Refresh is going to begin the 18th, energy dependent. My 20th birthday is on the 17th, so it just feels really good to kick off the new year with all of you. And again, this is for if you just know motherhood is someday in your future and you want to bring in some connection practices to your day. If you are in conception and you want to bring in the connection practices, so just like what we were talking about, we are expanding to hold these babies in their wholeness. So we need to constantly be connecting to our own wholeness, bringing in wholeness, bringing in personal power, bringing in personal energy to expand with them. Same with pregnancy. And then also with postpartum, we're finding ourselves again. So that is the Mama Refresh. I can truthfully say I haven't been so excited about something in a really long time. Obviously, I've been excited about my baby, but I mean within my work. Because it just feels so good. I feel like I've re-met myself at every point of this incredible journey of motherhood and created something for every element of her. So it is this is my whole heart going into this space. And if you're interested in it, just message me after. Anna fired me from doing back-end stuff because I totally fucked up setting up this event today. I got really excited one night and put it all together, and she went in and did back-end and was like, no. And we already had, I think, 50 registrants. So I'm not doing back-end anymore. So if you are interested in the refresh program, just message me. And then once Anna gets everything solidified, I'll send you something that is foolproof. I am the fool when it comes to technology. So if I can figure it out, then we all can. But we'll start in 1 week. Sometimes I can't see too far ahead, and maybe that's because we're learning, expanding, changing so much, clearing, creating space. Yeah, 100%. And I think from personal experience, there's moments within motherhood that you're able to really expand your vision and see into that expansion. And also, presence is so important. So I feel like if you feel like motherhood is within your realm, but it's just not coming into your scope right now, that's okay. You're also learning presence, which is so important, because when you have this little soul who's actually a giant soul and you are their whole universe, you have to be there. And if you keep dipping into the ever expanding possibilities of the future, which is incredible, she's your baby, then we can miss things. So rather than feeling like, why can't I see that next step? Really celebrating yourself in the presence that you're able to anchor into, because that's an incredible, incredible gift. Thank you so much, Phoebe. And I'll keep an eye out for more on the Mama Refresh. I've got to jump off now. Amazing. Okay, I don't see any questions, so we're going to complete here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I know I didn't put a cap on this time because I just wanted it to be everything that needed to come through. But we will get I'm going to send out the recording right now, and then we're going to upload it into YouTube sometime this week for just super easy access. And again, if you're interested in the refresh, just send me a message. Otherwise, it was so wonderful to connect with you all today, to lead a pretty wild activation. Please ground, take a bath, drink water with lemon and salt, eat nourishing foods, do everything to really just keep connecting to wholeness and replenishing your body. If you were doing a massive detox or a massive cleanse, you would be thinking about replenishing not only food, but minerals and vitamins. So just thinking about replenishing for everything that's clearing out. And that's all. Sending you all an abundance of love. I love you so much. Mwah. I love you, Shannon. And we'll connect so soon. Thank you for joining me for my first day back. I feel like I found my pink again, and it's an honor to do this with you all. Bye for now, and we'll talk so soon.